Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Friday's Tech Talk. Today, we're excited to introduce Facundo Giuliani, a solutions engineering team manager at Storyblock, based in Buenos Aires. Like I mentioned earlier, Facundo has been bringing nearly 20 years of experience in software and web development. He's passionate about engaging with the developer community, whether it's through speaking at events or conferences, organizing groups like React Buenos Aires, it's the largest React community in Argentina. So early and or leading Dev Summit Argentina, and he has been also recognized as a Prisma ambassador, Out O ambassador, and Cloudinary media developer expert. So we are very thrilled to have him today. So without further ado, Facundo, you can take it away.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, hello everyone, and again, thank you for the invite and for the possibility of sharing my story. That's what we are going to talk about today. Please don't hesitate to ask any question. If you have, drop it on the chat, and we can discuss about that. But yeah, I mean, what I plan to do today, or to share with you, is, well, my experience. Probably it's helpful to anyone, and you can get some inspiration in the same way that it worked for me when I was studying my career as a developer and in different positions. But let's move ahead. Let me see if I can. I think that I can move the slides directly from here, because I don't want to change the slides. Can you see a slide with my face now?
Yes, yes, we can.
Amazing. Cool. So, brief introduction. My name is Facundo Giuliani. I'm originally from Buenos Aires, Argentina, and that's where I live, and that's where I'm speaking from right now. I'm the solutions engineering team manager at Storyblock. We will discuss about Storyblock and what solutions engineering means later. I'm one of the organizers of React Buenos Aires, the biggest React developer community in Argentina. We have 8,000 members right now, and I will tell you a little bit more later. And I'm also one of the organizers of Dev Summit in Argentina, another community that is just starting, but another space that we are creating to meet new people, to learn about new technologies, to share some good insights, suggestions, and best practices, and yeah, to generate again another space. Cool. So I will start with my early days as any story. Let's say when I was when I was a kid, my father used to have a computer that he used for work. I mean, he's an accountant, and he used to work with this computer. I don't remember exactly what was the model, but we're talking about like 30 years ago, probably, or something like that, probably a little less, but yeah, almost 30 years ago. My father gave me this old computer that he stopped using because he bought a new one. And with this computer, I wanted to know everything and learn everything. So I was spending my afternoons trying to decode what was going on with that computer. So that's how I learned how to format a new computer, enter into the command line interface of the different applications of the operating system at that time. And yeah, of course, playing some games, the games that were available at that time. But that was how I spent my days when I was a kid. When I was a teenager, I started to learn development, algorithm, the logic. I mean, the programming logic, which is pretty important from my point of view. But yeah, I mean, I understood, or I learned what goes beyond using the computer, right? Probably when I was a kid or when I was younger, I didn't know what being a developer mean, or what how the applications that I was using every day were created, right? Because yeah, I didn't know how to do that. I started to learn about algorithm. I started to learn about logic. I started to understand about content structures, data structures. I also learned how to use different programming languages. The first programming language that I learned at that time, and the one that I used in my first job, was Visual Basic. The version was the 5.0, I think. If anyone from the call knows what I'm talking about, um, I don't want to say this, but you're getting old, as I'm getting old, because that technology is not used anymore, or was not used for a long time now. But yeah, I mean, that was the first technology that I learned, and I used that to create small applications to do basic stuff, right? But I also saw the potential of that technology to create applications that actually work and that actually help the people. With some friends, we started creating some games. We tried to translate board games into computer games, so we were able to play the board games that we used to play in the computer using the applications that we created using Visual Basic at that time. But in addition to that, we also used these technologies and these programming languages to create applications that work and that help other people. Like, again, my father, I was helping my father with this accountant system that we created, very basic, but he used that for some of his clients. So I felt proud, I mean, something that I created was being used in the real life for a certain purpose. So that was a really, really cool time. By that time, I started studying at the university, the National Technology University from Argentina, in Buenos Aires. I started studying my degree. At that time, it was a systems engineer, and that's my degree. I mean, I'm a systems engineer. I studied for 5 years at college. And by that time, I started learning about other advanced aspects of the work and the job, not only the technology that I was using, but also how to deal with certain aspects from the projects, how to start planning applications. I mean, some details that go beyond the actual coding work that the programmers and the developers do, right? But on top of that, the other thing that I liked about the university was meeting people, something that for you is really valuable. So I was learning new technologies, learning new concepts, like getting those technologies being applied to real use cases. In addition to that, I was reading, I was watching videos, the content available in the internet. It was there. It was not as much as we have nowadays, where you can get a phone and search, right? I mean, for any tutorial, any video, or any kind of content that can help you to learn a new technology or to know more about something. But we had the tools at that time, and I used those tools to again to learn more about the technology, to learn more about the different programming languages, and also how to apply them to real life scenarios. Because, well, here is where my first recommendation, let's say my first learning of today's talk enters into game, which is mastering these fundamentals builds credibility, meaning that the more you know about the fundamental aspects of the technology will help you to, I mean, not only to build credibility, but to also to understand and to translate problems into solutions, right? Which is crucial. At the end of the day, it's very important to learn a new technology, but the technology is evolving, and new technologies are appearing, and new programming languages, and new tools, and new platforms, and new everything is appearing. And at the end of the day, well, I mean, if you are involved in technology, or you are working on or you are studying technology, you will see that every certain period of time, new tools will appear, and you will have to adapt the way you work and the way you do the things to this new technology that is appearing. I mean, a very concrete example and is AI. Nowadays, we are adapting ways of working and the tasks that we do and the projects that we work on to the possibilities that the AI provides us, right? And in the same way, it happens with different tools, different services, different platforms for different use cases, scenarios, different projects. Today is AI, just another thing, and tomorrow will be another thing. So This is something that, from my point of view, it's very important to to master the fundamentals, right? To understand what's happening, uh, like beyond and behind the tool that you're using, the framework that you're using, the programming language that you're learning, right? So that's something that I learned, and that, from my point of view, is crucial and was crucial during my whole career. But another thing that oh, sorry, can you see my screen? Yes. Another thing that I learned by that time, besides like going to the university, there was this. I mean, at that time it was new to me, but this, how to say, this world of the meetups. Meetups, if you don't know, are, well, basically reunions of people about a certain topic, where they discuss around certain topic, or you have someone presenting a talk or being a speaker about a certain topic. And yeah, basically you have an audience listening to this speaker to learn more about. In this particular case, the meetups are, let's say, focused on one topic, one technology, one tool, one user group, a certain criteria, right? A certain criteria that is congregating people to go to a particular place, like a physical place, let's say, or if the meetup is hybrid or online, also connecting from any part of the world to learn about a new technology, to learn about new stuff, to learn about new tools. So one thing that I enjoyed doing at that time was I enjoy going to these meetups. I live in Buenos Aires, the capital city of Argentina, the city with the biggest population of the country. And the truth is that there was a time in the past where you had meetups of everything that you were able to attend, right? I mean, we have meetups for each and every programming language that we knew or that were available on the market at that time. Meetups for different communities, for different user groups and everything. And I enjoyed attending them. Why? Well, because first of all, these meetups, they have, as I said, a speaker presenting a particular topic, a particular talk that is around a project that they've been working at work, or a new technology that they learn during the weekend, or a new exciting thing that is going to be released soon, or the weekend project that they've been working on, and the problems that they faced and how they solve those problems, or how to implement a specific concept or a specific tool to one specific scenario or problem or use case, right? But in addition to learning what's new or what's happening, let's say, in the industry, because these topics were delivered, these talks were delivered by people from the community and let's say experts on the matter, let's say that. The cool thing is that I was learning new stuff, but on the other hand, I was meeting new people. And I think that that's crucial. And that happens in meetups, that happens at conferences too. You go there and you meet with people that is in your same situation, right? That it's somehow related to the technology that is being discussed during the session, that they want to learn about that same topic, that they have the same problems that you have, that they have the same interests that you have, right? So from my point of view, the meetups were a cool environment to learn new things, but most importantly, probably to meet new people, right? To meet new people that at the end of the day can help you to see that other people is in your same situation, to learn about how other people are doing things. Eventually, people that is looking for a job, or if you are looking for a job, people that is looking for colleagues to join their team, So it's a very powerful environment from my point of view, the meetups and the developer community in general, right? So one thing that I started to see is that besides me learning the technical aspects or the topics that I learned at college and with the tutorials on internet and with the videos on internet and content, it was also very important to meet new people, right? Or, I mean, different backgrounds, same background, but meet new people was crucial and was really instrumental in my career, and I will talk about that later. But but I felt that these environments were super helpful for me to grow, to evolve, to learn, right? And I encourage you. I mean, in any city of the world that you are, I encourage you to attend meetups, to attend local meetups, to attend developer conferences if you have happening them on I mean on your cities, or if you have the possibility to travel to another city to attend a conference. I really recommend you doing that, because these relationships that you are going to generate at these events are going to create opportunities for you, opportunities of different types, of opportunities for to get a new job, to work on an exciting project, to learn a new platform, a new tool, to make new friends. I mean, honestly, different opportunities that are generated just because of these relationships that you are creating and growing by going to these environments of people that is, again, on the same world, let's say, or environment that you are. And I insist on this, and probably we can, and now we will talk about the different aspect of our work, let's say, our job, and but another way of connecting to, which is the remote work. By 2015, I got my first remote job at that time, which was being a developer for a company that is based in Austin, Texas. So I always lived in Buenos Aires, Argentina, but at that time, one of my friends, who, by the way, I met at one of these meetups, he said, I have this possibility of a company that is looking for new developers to join, and they are looking for people all over the world, And I said, like, this is a great opportunity. By that time, I had a really cool job, but this opportunity of working directly with people from a different country, using a language that is different to my mother language, which is Spanish, like a different project. At that time, it was a really exciting product. It was a user-facing product, right? I mean, by that time, I was working mainly on systems and applications that were used internally in certain companies. In this case, was a website that was public, that anyone could use, and it was a really exciting opportunity. And I ended up working at that company for almost 6 years, so it was a really cool time. But another cool aspect of working at that company was that these limits or borders, let's say, of me meeting people were expanded, right? I mean, I met people at college, and at a certain point they had to live in Buenos Aires, because I mean they went every day to the university, so they lived on the same city that I live. The same with the meetups. I mean, the people that was there, that they attended, but working remotely open, and I mean, curiously, it opened new doors, right, and expanded the limits for me to meet people from different parts of the world. In this first job that I had, my first remote job, it was mainly from the United States, because they had an office, and they still have an office in Austin, Texas. So they had part of the team attending in person. I mean, they were working in person from the office, but then half of the team, I would say, or half of the company, was living in multiple cities of the United States, in Argentina, and in other countries like the UK, South Africa, etc. But the cool thing is that I started to learn not only about technology, not only about their interests, the projects that they were working on, and they were working with me, but also about their lives, the culture. It was really impactful how much I learned to work with people with a culture different than mine, right? There are some, I'm not sure where are you connecting from, but the cultural shock was really big for me, because I had to adapt to other ways of working, other ways of communicating, other ways of organizing the things, other ways of prioritizing the work that we were doing. And the truth is that it was really impactful. It was a challenge, but I really enjoyed doing that. I enjoy connecting and talking to people from all over the world every day, that as part of my job, right, at the end of the day. So that was really cool, and I really appreciate that opportunity. because in the same way that I was doing that as part of my job, I started to see that I had the same possibility of doing it with people that was working at other companies. And I started to connect with different developers that were working at multiple companies, discussing issues, pain points that I was having, technologies that I was learning. And at a certain point, attending like virtual meetups, right? In the same way that I was doing it in person in Buenos Aires, I started attending, let's say, these virtual meetups where a certain speaker was presenting a topic from their house in front of the computer, but multiple people was connecting at the same time to listen to what this person had to say, which is basically what we are doing today here, right? But at that time, it was really powerful to me to learn from multiple people, because with this connection and I started to meet people that was working at very big companies, and I started to learn from their experience on how to work with other people, on how to manage search and technology, on how to apply certain logic or certain strategy or process to the work that they were doing, on how to engage with colleagues, how to work with a group of people, how to deal with teams, right? I really learned a lot from multiple people from this developer community, which at the end of the day, it had a similar feeling, let's say, to what I used to do with the meetups. I mean, it was people with a common interest, let's say, discussing through different channels like Discord servers, Slack channels or servers, forums by that time, these online meetups that we were that I was attending and that people was organizing, let's say. And by doing that and connecting with the community, I started to meet people that really helped me and really advised me a lot, not only on technical aspects and technology topics, but also in interpersonal things, right? I mean, in social aspects, right? It was really cool because I started to lose the fear, let's say, of connecting to other people and to start asking and to start sending messages to people that, you know, there were probably like speakers, international speakers that used to present talks at big conferences with thousands of people or hundreds of people attending to these conferences. And I started to talk to them, and they were really kind to me, and they were really friendly, sharing their insights, their experiences, let's say. And I started to meet this amazing group of people that was really helpful, because these people was the same people that I was learning from, right? I mean, I'm talking about people that write books about technology, that deliver talks at conferences, that create tutorials, that record videos, that is sharing insights and comments and their learnings, let's say, on different social networks. So it was really impactful to me, because I started to see that connecting to other humans was as important, let's say, as learning these technical skills. I started to see that I can have my favorite technology, my favorite tool. I can have my my preferred programming language to work on a project, let's say. But while that was really important, because you have to know what you are doing and you have to understand the technical aspects and the different problems that you're evaluating and managing, it was also really important to create human connection. At the end of the day, each of us is working with other people, with other human beings. At a certain point, you will have to face a situation where you have to engage with another person, discuss with another person, and agree with another person, right? So these human connections started to generate on me an interest on how to connect this, you know, with something that by that time I was not seeing in the work that I was doing, right? So by that time I was a developer. I was working in a really cool project, as I said, but at that time I felt that I was more like executing these development tasks, but I was not engaging with the people that was using what I was creating, right? So I spent my days coding with the IDE that you prefer, let's say. And while I like doing that, and I still like doing that, I was like missing the human touch, you know. By that time, the I mean, my only interactions with my colleagues was through a platform like Microsoft Teams or Slack, let's say, sharing some messages about what we have to do, the new ticket that I have in Jira, the new thing that I have to release, the new sprint that we are working on, etc. But in addition to the, I mean, to the thing that was the only engagement that I had, or the only things that we were discussing, it was a factor that I was doing that from home. I was working alone from home because the company that I worked at that time, they didn't have an office in Buenos Aires, so I was not commuting to any office. So I started to, I mean, that in combination of what I was doing, I started to engage with the community more and more and more. And I started to realize about something. I realized that all the content that I was using to learn about new technologies, about new topics and everything was created by someone. And that someone was doing that because they wanted, basically. I'm not sure if you worked at different industries or probably you talk to people that have other like other jobs, you know, or work have a different. They are not developers, are not working on technology, but right now, if you go to the internet, you have a lot of content created by other developers and other people answering technical questions or really hard topics, writing a tutorial, an article, a video on YouTube, doing a live stream, right? All these things that are available for you for free is because it's done by someone, right? The same happens with open source. Open source software is created by someone. So there's someone that is creating that and sharing with the rest of the world because they want to do that, because they want to collaborate. And the thing is that I was seeing that and I was like, okay, I mean, I want to participate. I want to be one of them, right? I want to create something that is helping someone. I'm all the in a way of saying thank you, let's say, of all of what I learned from these people. I want to be one of them, creating content and delivering value to people that can use it, right? I mean that can be helpful for them. So I started to do my first contributions online at that time because, well, it was the Corona, so I was even more isolated at home. But I started to prepare topics and to deliver talks at virtual events, at virtual meetups. So I started to apply as a speaker, let's say, or to connect with organizers from meetups from all over the world and conferences, virtual conferences from all over the world, proposing topics to discuss at their events that can be helpful for the people that they have attending those events. I was also writing some content. I was writing articles, guides, and tutorials that I post on my personal website. By that time, I created my personal website to generate this content and to congregate all the content that I was creating, which was, again, articles, these talks that I was presenting at virtual events, videos that I was creating, podcasts that I was participated in, streams that I was participated in, and I really enjoyed doing that. By that time, I really enjoyed doing that, and I still do. I still enjoy doing that. So with these first contributions, I started. I started like delivering talks at events. As you can see, conferences like Developer Week or the Jamstack Berlin, DevFest in Poland. I mean, I had the possibility of doing that from home because they were virtual. So from Argentina, I was connecting and delivering a talk for people that was living probably in Germany or Poland or the US, right? I mean, it was really a big experience for me and a big learning. I really enjoy doing that. I delivered talks about multiple aspects, multiple topics. One of the topics that I was really interested into by that time was the Jamstack. I'm not sure if you are familiar with that, but it's an approach to create websites leveraging on static site generation and API first platforms. And I was speaking a lot about Jamstack because I was really interested into the topic. I was not using that at my job, but I was really interested on that topic. So using programming languages or frameworks like React, Vue.js, let's say, to generate static websites that were connecting to API first platforms like content management system, headless content management systems, e-commerce platforms, shopping, e-commerce platform, sorry, digital asset management platform. That's what I was trying to think. Different platforms that are API first and that are providing functionalities and content and data that you can use on your projects, right? So I was speaking a lot about those topics by that time. So most of my talks were related to that. In addition to that, there were some communities because some of these companies that are creating platforms and tools and services, they created their own ambassador programs, right? What's an ambassador? Well, basically, it's a person in the community that is interested to help people that is using these platforms and these tools and try to help them. So the companies were kind of rewarding or recognizing the value that these people was adding, giving you different stuff like sending swag to your house, helping you to attend to events, highlighting your content on their social networks. Depending on the program, they had different benefits and they had different rewards for these people. That was, again, engaging with the development community in different ways and sharing their insights and their help and support with developers that were working with this product. So by that time, I joined, I was accepted, let's say, on these different programs. It was a Prisma Ambassador program. Prisma is an ORM, an Object Relation Management platform that you can use for your databases. I was selected Auth0 ambassador by that time. Auth0 is an identity provider. If you want to add security login on your platforms, you can use Auth0. So by that time, I joined their program too. And I also joined the Media Developer Expert program from Cloudinary. Cloudinary is a digital asset manager. In the case that you want to manage images, videos, and etc., you can use a platform like Cloudinary that will help you to do that more efficiently, give you functionalities, etc. So I was using those services and I was helping other people that was also using these services to, in any issue that they were facing. I was doing some of these public appearances on the virtual events. I was creating articles, blog posts, videos, etc. If you look for my name in internet, you will find articles, videos, and other content related to these products and other products and the different Jamstack talks that I mentioned that I deliver. But one thing that I also did was to go beyond that, and I said, like, okay, I want to organize my own community. So I joined one of the most important communities, developer community in Argentina by that time, which was React Buenos Aires, because I was using the React framework by that time. So I joined one of my friends that was one of the organizers of the community by that time, to continue collaborating with the React developers in Argentina to add the value to the community and do things like that. React Buenos Aires is running, and I'm still one of the organizers. What we are doing, or the format that the community has right now, is we run monthly meetups in person in Buenos Aires at different spots of the city. So if you are around, if you are visiting Buenos Aires, let me know, because every month, we're doing this every month. We go to a specific place, a co-working space, a company's office, anything, to learn from others about what they are working on, their projects and everything. And well, we share some pizzas, some beers, some sodas and everything. But it's a crucial place to meet new people, right? And to learn about the technology, what other people is using, what other people is doing, etc. So as I said, I was working as a developer. I was doing this in my free time. I mean, in my free time, I was delivering the talks, I was creating the content, I was doing that after working hours. And as you can imagine, the day has 24 hours. And I said, like, okay, I probably can't do this all my life or all the time. So that, I mean, when I was engaging with these people in the community online, I started to hear about a term that I was not familiar with, which is developer relations. So what is developer relation at that time? Well, developer relations, developer advocate, developer evangelist, those are different terms that are used for the same idea, which is, at the end of the day, is being the connection or the link between the developer community and the organizations. So the organizations are creating and managing products and well, trying to sell products. But on the other hand, they are creating products and platforms that are used by the developers, right? And in order to better engage with the developers, you need someone that speaks their language. You need someone that has a developer background, right? So what are the DevRels, or what do the DevRels do? So, well, the DevRels are creating content, articles, workshops, blog posts, videos, to help the developers to get the best from the products, or to learn the best practices on how to implement certain tools, certain patterns, certain logic, certain scenarios on the projects that they are working. But doing that as a representative of a certain company, right? So, well, another thing that the DevRels do is to attend conferences, sponsoring conferences, so you can have a booth at the conference and you can speak about with the attendees about different tools and the different platforms or the product that your company creates and sells, let's say, for them to learn about the product that your company is offering. But the cool thing is that you do that as your job, right? I mean, you are doing that for living. I mean, you get paid for that, right? So it sounds fun, but I was doing a very similar task in my free time after my working hours, and I found out that there was people that was doing this, I mean, as part of their job for their living. So I said, this is what I want to do. I want to connect with people as part of my job. I want to create content as part of my job. I want to help developers as part of my job. I want to be a DevRel, right? And by that time, I was connecting with multiple people from the company, most of them related with the Jamstack, let's say, or the different concepts that I mentioned before. And one of the products that I was using at that time was a Storyblok. The Storyblok is a headless content management system, a platform that you can use to create and manage content and use that content on your websites, your mobile applications, your desktop applications. I can speak for hours about the Storyblok because it's a company that I'm working at right now. And I'm well, I mean, I had to learn about the platform from end to end, all the different aspects and all the different functionalities and features. But the Storyblok was looking for DevRels, and I said, like, okay, let's apply. And by that time I applied, I met my manager at that time, Samuel, who was the only developer relations engineer at that time at Storyblok, and he hired me. So I was really excited, really happy. I continued doing my side project, let's say, of creating content for the community, not really related to Storyblok, but on the other hand, I was doing the same as part of my job. So I was writing tutorials, articles, code samples, prototypes, SDKs, libraries, sample projects, all of that for the community, right? And I was engaging with the community in different ways. I was spending time on Twitter talking to developers. I was spending time on forums, on Discord servers, answering questions, asking questions, gathering feedback, getting insights from the users of the platform, right? From the people that was actually using a Storyblok, using the product, and that was trying to inject it or use it as part of their daily job, right? One of the things that I really enjoy being a DevRel at Storyblok was the possibility of continuing delivering talks at events virtually for multiple events, webinars, and different formats of events, let's say. But in addition to that, I had the possibility of start delivering talks too at in-person events. I had the chance to travel to multiple parts of the world. I started delivering delivering sessions and delivering talks about multiple topics: content management, React, static site generation, multiple language, incremental static regeneration, as you can see. And all these talks, I was able to present them at conferences in multiple cities, in multiple parts of the world. New York, Atlanta, Miami, Alicante in Spain, London, Greece. I went to Athens. I have a picture of myself delivering a talk with the Acropolis in my bag, so it's like insane, honestly insane. And I really enjoy doing that as part of my job, right? At the end of the day, traveling to multiple parts of the city, multiple parts of the world, as I said, from Buenos Aires to the world. So having the possibility of not only connecting to people from multiple cultures, multiple countries and everything online, but also meeting them in person, meeting my colleagues, meeting the people that I met in these different communities on Twitter, on the Discord servers, in real life. That was really impactful to me. I also had the possibility of doing other type of content creation as a DevRel, participating of podcasts, writing tutorials, as I said, articles, collaborating in multiple platforms. I mean, not only writing for the Serblog website, but also for other platforms like Smashing Magazine, for instance, and doing that as part of my job. I really enjoy doing that. And at the end of the day, and this is a slide as a recap for the developer relations or the ideas that I would like you to take of what a DevRel is. At the end of the day, being the bridge between the developers that are using a certain product or platforms or technologies and the organizations that are interested into the insights and the feedback from those developers. Instead of me building software, which I was still doing, I was helping others to build their software, right? That was really impactful too. Creating content, as I said, mentoring people around different topics, different technologies, different tools. And after that, I took the next step, which was becoming a manager, right, at Serblog too, because everything was going really smooth, and we the company started to grow. When I joined Serblog, I was employee number 30. Right now we are 300 people. So we wanted to reach more people from the developer community. So Serblog started to hire more and more DevRels, and as I really enjoyed these interpersonal relationships, let's say, and I think that Serblog team saw that on me. They asked me if I wanted to be the manager of a team of developer relations engineers, and I accepted the challenge, to be honest. And it was really a really cool experience to me, because while I was still doing the work of a DevRel, I mean, I was still executing the task, let's say, I also had the possibility of organizing and managing a team, a global team of people from all over the world. At Serblog, I have the possibility of working with people from multiple countries, from multiple different backgrounds and cultures. I used to manage the DevRel team that I used to manage have people that was from Japan, India, Italy, Nigeria, the UK, Spain, Colombia, Canada. And to be honest, I learned a lot from all of them, and I still learn a lot from my team and from the people from the different backgrounds and the different countries. It's really it's mind opener to talk to people from different backgrounds, to engage with people from multiple cultures is probably one of the most helpful things that for my life, and probably most of the one of the biggest suggestions that I can do to you. Open your minds, extend your limits, let's say, or the borders of your mind, and connect with people from different backgrounds and different cultures, different countries, because what you can learn is unlimited from them. So I had to deal with other challenges, which was coaching and leading this team, setting up processes and projects to scale the team and to be able to implement all the different things that we wanted to do as developer relations engineers. But then I started to understand a little bit more the business goals of a Serblog. I mean, okay, what we are doing and connecting to the community and everything, how all of that was connecting to the business, right? Which at the end of the day, as any company, I mean, probably the main goal that the company has, or one of the main goals that the company has, is selling a product, right? So how all of the actions, initiatives, and projects that we were working on were connected to these business goals that Strawblock had at that time. And there was a concrete example on how the DevRels were adding this. Well, I would say that probably the most direct way on how the DevRels were connected to these business goals was supporting, giving technical support to the sales process, being the technical advisors during the sales process. And I learned by that time that we were doing that as part of the DevRel role, let's say, or the developer relations role that we had. But that's a separate role at other companies, or it was a separate role at that companies. And this separate role is called solutions engineer. The solutions engineers are the ones that try to come up with solutions, as the name says, with to help the people and the developers to understand how to translate their pain points to solutions using specific processes, specific products, specific platforms, right? So the solutions engineers are the ones advising developers on how to solve their problems, their use cases, their pain points, their scenarios, which at that time at Strawblock, it was part of the work that the DevRels were doing. But when the company started to grow, we started to identify that there was a need of having people that was dedicated to this specific aspect of the role and this specific focus area. So by October 2023, we created a team of solutions engineers, which I'm managing right now. I mean, that's my current role at Strawblock. And we got some people from the DevRel team, from the developer relations team at Strawblock at that time, and we hired new solutions engineers to create this amazing group of people that was going to help to create a bridge, not only between the company and the developers, but bridge between the technical needs and the business needs of a certain company. Talking to developers, or not only developers, I mean also marketers and non-technical people, to understand their pain points, understand their use cases, their projects, their needs, and translate that into solutions and projects that are involving, at a certain point, the platform that is created and managed by our company. In my case, is Strawblock. So it's not, I mean, it's not only talking to people from multiple backgrounds and with different jobs and different roles, but also understanding what they are telling you and come up with solutions for their projects and their problems, enable them on the usage of the platform and the different technologies and how they can combine all of that to improve their existing project and their existing stage. I mean, to get their project evolving and improve the different aspects of their current processes, workflows, organization, teams, etc. And also, on the other hand, drive the feedback and the innovation of your company. Because as you are speaking, as part of our job, you are speaking every day to customers, to potential customers about what they are looking for, you have a really valuable feedback and insight and point of view of what the industry is looking for, and what the market is looking for, and what the companies are looking for. And that's something really valuable to share with the developers creating the product that you, at the end of the day, are selling, right? The product that your company is selling. So you as a developer or as a technical person, you are engaging with other technical people and non-technical people, listening to their needs and translating those needs into features and functionalities that can be added to the product that your company is creating. And creating that link between the developers from the product division of your company with the needs that you are getting from the people that you are talking to. And that is basically what the solutions engineers do, at least what we do at the Strawblock, the team that I manage, and we keep doing, right? To finish this talk or my story, let's say, I wanted to share with you some takeaways, which are related not only with the solutions engineering role, but with my path, my story, right, or things that I learned or things that I find in my career, my almost 20 years of career as a developer relations engineer, and solutions engineer. It's crucial to stay curious. The technology moves fast, as I said. You have to learn the technology, but you have to keep being curious about what you want to learn and what you see, because that will keep you relevant. How you keep how you stay curious? Well, reading, watching videos, using content, reading blog posts, but also attending events, attending meetups, attending conferences, seeing what others are doing, listening from others, talking to others. And that's related to the second takeaway. Build your network while you are building your skills. Don't, I mean, in the same way that you are spending your time learning new technologies, new platforms, new tools, and keeping updated with what is being released by the market and by other companies, you have to keep building your network, because that network that you are going to create is the one that will generate opportunities in the future for you. I wouldn't have been able to get my DevRel job at Storyblok if it was not because of the network that I generated, connecting to the community and meeting with people that was in my same situation, using the same platforms, learning about the same topics that I was interested in at that time. And that's related to the next takeaway. You have to look for overlap between what you are doing nowadays in your job and what you want to do next. I was a developer. My daily job was being a developer, but in my free time, I was connecting with other people about other stuff, topics that I was not using in my daily job, technologies that I was not using. I was learning new technologies. I was learning from other people. I really recommend that you do that, because that will give you the tools to bring to you your next opportunity, right? Your next role, your next step on your career, the career that you want to build and follow. And finally, technology is about people. You can have your favorite programming language, your favorite framework, your favorite tool, but the only way on how the project is going to be successful is if you know how to deal with other people, internally and externally, with the users of the products that you are building, with the developers that are creating the product with you, with the different members from your team, with the end users, with the customers. I mean, you can use what you think is the best technology in the world, but if you don't connect and you don't know how to engage and how to connect to other people, you have a missing piece there. Because at the end of the day, the technology is not only about the tool that you are using, but it's about the people that you are engaging with. That was my talk, my story. I hope that you learned something new. I hope that it was entertaining for you. Thank you very much for the space. Thank you very much for the time and for the opportunity to tell my story to you. It says gracias because it's my native language, but thank you very much again for your time and for joining the talk. And I hope that you learned something new.
We definitely did. So anyway, thank you so much for that. Oh, we do have one question from Shirley. And everyone, if you have questions, please do feel free to drop it in the
Please
chat.
drop them. Please drop them.
All right, from Charlie. You mentioned that you used VB in your early career. Do you think it's still worth investing time in VB.net today? If not, what tech stack are you currently using most?
Amazing. Good question. I think that it depends on what you want to do or the path that you want to take in your career. VB.net is still accurate for certain type of applications. I personally am more focused on what is front end nowadays, and I'm using technologies like Next.js or Astro, let's say, also React. As you can see, I'm one of the organizers of React Buenos Aires, but I would say that I mean, it depends on what you feel comfortable using, on what you feel it's meeting your needs, your expectations. At the end of the day, from my point of view, it's crucial to understand what's happening behind that, to understand the main concepts, because if you understand the main concepts, you can translate that into any technology that you want to use in the future. And it will be easier for you to learn a new tool in the future if you understand what's going on behind, more than the actual technology. I hope that I answered the question.
All right. So let's move forward with another question. I know the time would be a little longer, a little longer, but
If the
because I
people
do have
has more minutes to stay, I'm happy to answer the question.
because I do have questions as well. Anyway, so moving on to the next question, it's from Desiree. She just asked, "What advice would you give to someone who feels nervous about approaching speakers or other attendees at events?" I think we can all relate to this one.
Yeah, that's a crucial question. To be completely honest, all the people is amazing people at those events, in those environments, or all of them are really friendly, really friendly. Um, I recommend you that you go, you take the step there and you say, I will talk to this person because at a certain point they are or they were in the same situation that you were. When I organized the meetups in Buenos Aires for React Buenos Aires, I love seeing people that they haven't met before, just because they were sitting one next to each other to start talking about their life or introducing like, hey, my name is Facundo, or what's your name, what do you do, what, and that's how the relationship starts. They you see them on the following month on the next meetup that they talk to again, and you generated a new friendship, let's say. But all the people is in the same situation like you. I understand that sometimes it can be intimidating to see a group of people talking between all of them. I'm probably jumping on a group of 10 people there and say like, hey, hello, I'm Facundo. It can be intimidating. I can tell you that that's not an issue, but if you feel that that's an issue, look for the person that is alone with the computer or the cell phone, go there and say, hey, how are you? Because at a certain point, they will share interest with you, and the talk will spark at a certain point. So I can tell you that, again, in those events, all the people that attend these conferences and meetups, it's really nice people. That's why they are there.
Yeah, I think we can all agree here that we all start from somewhere. A simple
I
hello is always a good start.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, so we do have another question from Brian
Yes,
Jacobson.
please.
In Argentina, for effective software developers now in 2025, how many percent learned in university
Mhm.
versus how many are self taught?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because I studied at university. I finished my career. I graduated as a systems engineer, and it's very difficult for me to imagine what would happen if I didn't study, right? I mean, what would have happened to Facundo if I didn't study at university, right? Um, but on the other hand, I've also worked with really smart people that they didn't study at the university. I will share an ambiguous answer to this question. I'm sorry for that, but I think that it depends on each one, right? I mean, there's people that need someone like guiding, let's say, or hand holding. And from my point of view, if you are that kind of person that you need some kind of guidance from someone else, the university is the best environment to do that. Let's say, if you feel that you are proactive or you feel confident going and learning from reading tutorials, watching videos from YouTube and everything, I can tell you that the content is there. The content is outside, and you can get the content. My personal experience shows that the university will help you to get like a structured path to follow and topics to learn, that probably it's more complicated for you to learn if you are doing it on your own. Most of the topics that I learned, not about one specific framework or programming language, but about the main concepts or what's happening with the algorithms, or even the soft skills or the managerial aspects of a team or a project. Most of them, I learned them from the university, and of course, with the daily job, right? I mean, dealing with people. It really depends, to be honest. I wouldn't say that is best one option or the other. I see successful people coming from both backgrounds, going to the university and being self-taught. So yeah.
Okay, hopefully that. Oh, very good. Hope helpful. All right.
Amazing.
So we also do have another question from Andre Granson. Best advice to get, well, technically not the question, but somewhat. Best advice to get entry level dev jobs, as most are now seeking senior. Will AI or has AI take over junior roles?
So I think we are at a crucial moment of the technology. To be honest, AI is revolutionary at a certain point. What I think is that AI is not going to take over junior roles from my point of view. What I think is that what we know as a junior role nowadays will somehow get a mutation to something else, which is learning how to use these AI tools, right? Probably a junior developer 10 years ago, or when I was a junior developer, the expectations for the junior developer was to write the correct spelling of the programming language that you were using, to create a CRUD page, to create new registers, read the new registers, update an existing register, or something like that. I feel that what we know as a junior role, let's say, will become something more related to how to better use the AI platforms that are in the market to generate the code, to review the code, because at the end of the day, or at least by now, and I think that for some time, the code that is generated by AI is not perfect and it's not bulletproof. If you are using the code that was generated by a platform on a production environment for a big size project that is being used by an enterprise by millions of people, I can almost guarantee you that at a certain point there will be an error or something that is not working. And the way on how to solve those issues is with a person that can read the content and the code and the logic and understand what's going on and that knows how to fix that. And for that, you need human beings and people, I would say. So from my point of view, it would be more complicated probably because I mean, what I did when I was a junior developer or my first step in my career, probably an AI platform can come up with something similar to that, I would say. But the thing is that you don't have to stop there. You have to continue learning, to continue engaging with these platforms, and to adopt these platforms and tools as part of your daily job, right?
Well
I hope
thought.
that I answered the question.
Well thought on that one. I think we can all agree that because lately I've been saying this many times in even our past tech talks. There are the scare on developers right now in regards to AI taking over. Well, not just developers, but I think every industry um
Mhm.
scared of AI taking over anything. So again, everyone, AI is not going to take us over because it's always important.
No, it's a
Us, us,
transformation process. It's a
it.
mutation. I can give you another example, but as I said, my father is an accountant, and well, he has like 60 years old. As you can imagine that when he started being an accountant here in Argentina, like I don't know, 4 years ago or something like that, computers were not a thing.
Mm.
Microsoft Excel was not a thing. So what do you think that they said when they saw that a magical spreadsheet that the math for you is appearing on the market? Yeah, we are going to lose our jobs. We still need the accountants. Their job mutated, the role mutated, the work that they do changed, but like using those tools to make the work easier and to scale probably the job, but the people is still here working, right? So we are not going to lose our jobs.
AI is just a tool.
Exactly.
All right. So hopefully that answers the question from Andre. Now, going to my question. I'll be
Please.
very quick. I'll try my best, but I do have a bunch of questions right now though. Although my first question is what do you think what skills should developers focus on today if they want to keep doors open for roles beyond coding?
So I think that from my point of view, the crucial aspect is, well, I mean, it's called soft skill because it's not something that, but from my point of view, it's a problem solving mindset to understand that if you are doing something, what's the reason behind that? And that you don't forget that what you are trying to do is to solve a problem and not to implement something, let's say. Giving you the example of DevRels, let's say, which is not entirely connected to writing code, let's say, or being a developer, but your goal as a DevRel, as a developer relations engineer, is not writing a tutorial or writing a blog post or recording a video. Your goal is to train the developers, to enable the developers, to help them solve their problems. How you do that, that's something that you can discuss. The same is happening with the technology from my point of view, and connecting with the previous question about DV.net and everything. The end goal is not to learn the technology and how to do the things with the technology. The end goal, from my point of view, or the crucial part of that, is to understand what problem you are solving, what you are doing. Did I answer the question?
Yes. Yeah, I also agree when you mentioned these soft skills. So that's also a good start, basically in everything. When
Soft
it
skills
comes,
like human connection,
yes,
communication, management, proactivity, time management, essential. But problem solving, it's crucial from my point of view.
it is. It is, especially when you're a developer.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So my next question would be, since you mentioned earlier that mentorship, you mentioned in that part, I think you tackled on that note. How do you, how important mentorship to people who don't know where to start yet, or they are starting their career? How important is mentorship for them?
It's amazingly helpful. You you can watch videos, you can read blog posts, you can go to the university, but from my point of view, the most impactful way of learning how to do the job is talking to someone that did the job for more time than you did. It's as simple as that, or as simple as it sounds, let's say. Someone that already went through the same situation that you are going nowadays and found a way to solve that. From my point of view, is crucial. One thing that I do whenever we have a new joiner on the team that I manage is to partner that person with what we call an onboarding buddy, which is an experienced person on the role that will help them to guide them during this onboarding process, which has part of self-taught, let's say, and where you have to go on your own and yeah, learn about the product, the processes and everything. But on the other hand, connected to a person that is doing the job and that did the job for some time, that has a lot of insights to share with you, to shadow that person, to see them performing their job. You don't have that at your work, let's say, you have other ways to do that, or you have other places where you can meet a mentor, let's say. One of those places is a local meetup, a conference, a community, a Discord server. You will meet people that already went through what you are going through nowadays, that can help you insights, guidance, help, suggestions.
Yep, definitely that. I think mentorship and meetups are really interconnected with something like this. So, for everyone who is currently feeling like shy or feeling super introverted when it comes to meetups, because I can agree with you on that. I think it's the best way to take a leap of our outside the box of our
Yeah.
outside box. So, yeah. And lastly, for my last question, because I don't want to ask you too much question. I have a bunch. So, lastly, this one is just a little bit personal. So, looking back, what's one opportunity that you're glad you took, even if it that time it felt so uncertain?
Again, what's one opportunity? Sorry.
Yeah, what any opportunities that you took that time you felt uncertain about it, but you are glad that you took it.
Well, I mean, probably this sounds obvious, but I worked as a developer in multiple roles, but always developer roles in three different companies by that time, and I got to a really senior level, right? I mean, the company where I was working at before joining Starblock. I was a really senior developer because of all the experience that I got on that field. The opportunity that I took was to apply for a developer relations engineer role, which was something that I never did before. I mean, at a certain point, I felt like jumping from a really senior position to a really junior position because I needed to learn a lot of things that I never did before. But that drove me to where I am right now, and honestly, I can't complain. I can't complain. I really enjoy what I'm doing nowadays, and I feel that at a certain point that opened my spectrum, let's say, and my eyes and my career, and it generated a lot of paths and opportunities through those years.
So really, it's just taking the leap of faith.
Again, taking the leap.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with taking the leap as long as you guys know that you can do it. Know by yourself.
You
You have
have
to
to
believe
you
in
have to
yourself.
believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself.
Yeah. So let's take Facundo for example, and now let's use that as a motivation.
There you go. I hope so. I hope so.
I am. I'm actually motivated. So hopefully everyone else. Oh, also Laura mentioned that in my previous question that also books can be insightful as well when it comes
Yes,
to like
please,
leadership and
please,
leaderships.
please.
So yep. Basically that's it for me. Again, we want to to thank Facundo for being our speaker for today. Everyone had a great time, and at the same time, we learned so much for this. And I hope everyone is motivated just as I got motivated on this talk. So again, thank you for joining us on our Friday Tech Talk. We'd love to have you around again, Facundo, for another session because every talk is always a chance to learn, connect, and take one more step forward in not just in tech journey, but in every journey of our um, career. So yeah, be sure to stay tuned to our Meetup account for upcoming events and keep an eye out for more live tech talks this coming October as well. So yeah,
Amazing.
thank you so much again, Facundo. I hope everyone is having a great time. It's almost weekend. So yep. See you guys next week. Same time, same channel. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you for the
Bye.
opportunity. Bye bye. Thank you for joining.